Jimmy Butler trade speculation may no longer just be speculation. I'm here to break down why it seems like things might be going on behind closed doors that are going to result in a Jimmy Butler trade. And we're going to break down all that right now on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, remember, if you're a part of the 80% currently not subscribed to the channel, currently watching this video, scroll down, click the subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down, are we really going to see Jimmy Butler moved this season? Now, you have heard me talk about this topic time and time again, and I always tried to be on the side of not moving Jimmy Butler. I think he's too key, too important to this Miami Heat team for more than one reason. You've heard me go through this spiel before. Not only his on-the-court play, but obviously his leadership on and off the floor is unmatched. He fits the Miami Heat culture perfectly, and again, he seems bought into this Miami Heat team, and obviously this Miami Heat team has bought into Jimmy Butler without a doubt over the last 5 years. So again, I don't want to see Jimmy Butler moved. I would love to see him retire in a Miami Heat jersey, but again, based off of recent performances, it seems like there might be a chance, because of Pat Riley being who Pat Riley is, that we see Jimmy Butler on the move. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the fact that we beat Washington in Washington. But from that point forward, we went on to play Sacramento at home. It was a 1-point loss. Sabonis had a great tip in to then take the lead with little time left. Phoenix, we lose by 3. Another one-possession game. We didn't have the greatest third quarter or really second half in general, but then Denver. We gave up 135 points. We are not going to beat teams that way. Miami has never been a team that is going to be able to score 140, 150, but again, 135 to 145 points a game and win, because we are a defensive-driven team. There's no way around it. It's been that way. Even when LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, and we had that dream team of a team down here in Miami, yes, we could score with anyone, but again, we were defensive-driven. There's no way around it. And last night, we saw some defense. The game ended, both teams didn't score over 100 points. You never see that in today's NBA, and we won the basketball game against a very, very good Minnesota Timberwolves team. It was in Minnesota. It was the third of a 6-game road stand for this Miami Heat team, and we desperately need it. Losing our last game before going on this road trip to Sacramento is not what we wanted to see, as obviously, but again, now at the halfway point of this road trip, we do get a massive win against Minnesota, but we did it without Jimmy Butler. Now, if you look at the box score, yes, things were back and forth. We won on an and-one layup from Jovic on a great backdoor screen, again, set by, or it wasn't set by Rozier, I believe it was set by Hero, resulted in Timberwolves not communicating, not switching. Jovic got an easy layup. He was fouled. He made the free throw. We went up 1, and we were able to maintain that lead for the last 7 seconds. Yes, he made it. There was about 8.5 seconds on the clock. He made it. It was about 7.1 seconds left in the game. And again, we were able to hold on and win that game. But again, without Jimmy Butler, who was out with the right ankle sprain, right ankle injury. But again, last night, the box score, Hero, again, is by far and away the best player on this Miami Heat team. And with that, with what we've seen up to this point, this is all going into the idea of, hey, we win without Jimmy Butler. We lose with Butler. Let's see how many more games we can get this way. And again, he will be out another game against the Detroit Pistons. Yes, it is the Pistons. I understand. But the Timberwolves, despite being at the bottom of the Western Conference now, we know they are going to be much better down the line. That is a legitimate contending team in the West. The Pistons are a different story, so the win that Miami could get without Jimmy Butler is not going to be as substantial or heavy. But again, if Miami looks very good, they dominate. The offense looks really, really good, and the defense is sufficient. Again, don't be surprised if things get pretty loud near Miami surrounding Jimmy Butler. Obviously, we've heard Pat Riley say probably not going to move him. We've talked about the contract extensions and this and that. Didn't seem like Butler was going to be on the move unless he was going to do it early this past offseason. It didn't happen. And now because of that, if things start to go differently for this Miami Heat team and we win tomorrow night against the Detroit Pistons, which is, again, going to be a massive game because it's the first game of the play-in tournament, the in-season tournament, if you will, for this Miami Heat team. It'll, again, be on the road in Detroit. And again, Detroit is Detroit. We struggled with them last year, just like we did with the Wizards. We need to be able to beat these teams and beat them very convincingly. There's no way around it. And then obviously we go to Indiana for 2 games to close out that 6-game road stand for this Miami Heat team. these are teams we absolutely have to beat. Obviously, Indiana, 2 games in Indiana is not going to be easy. They have a great home atmosphere, as well as just having a very high-powered offense when the shots are falling. If our defense can be a presence amongst both of these teams in all 3 of these games, we should win these games. This Miami Heat team on paper is very, very good with or without Jimmy Butler, and the idea of getting rid of Butler would not only make this team better in the sense of what we would have to get back. Please understand what I'm saying. If anyone gets rid of Jimmy Butler, their team gets worse. There's no way around it. But if Miami were to move him, it would be for a king's ransom or damn near it because of the value he has. Despite the age, despite the attitude, it is a winning attitude, and he's a winning basketball player. There's no way around it. He brought this Miami Heat team to 2 different final appearances, and again, they're constantly a pest in the playoffs year after year, whether Butler's there or not, because it's just the Miami Heat, and an overall just a way they play the game of basketball, the way they are coached, as we all know. We've been watching for some time. But again, Tyler Hero, 9 out of 15 shooting the basketball, 4 of 8 from behind the three-point line, 26 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. He is playing phenomenal, having a career year. If he continues his pace of play, he should be an all-star without a doubt for the Eastern Conference. He is phenomenal. Again, there is so much individual talent all over the league. Being an all-star should be substantial. It should mean a lot. And Tyler Hero should be an all-star. With these numbers, he is flat out the best player on this Miami Heat roster. And not many actually believe that was going to be the case this season. And it without a doubt is. Bam had another very rough shooting night. He only had 9 points, 7 assists. Again, facilitating has never been a problem for Bam Adebayo. Been severely underrated in that category. This year he has taken another step up, another leap forward, and again, another high assist night, 5+ assists once again, with 7 of them and 7 rebounds. He played overall a pretty good game in the sense of he did have a positive plus-minus with a +12 plus-minus. But again, the overall shot making ability for Bam Adebayo has been severely, severely lacking this season. Without a doubt, you cannot try to stretch the truth even a bit. He's had 2 very, very good games this year, but in the rest of the other 7 games, if you will, he has been not so great. But again, at least he saw that the shot was not falling tonight. He could go to Hero in other options. Jovic had a big night, finally bouncing back, as we saw him lose some minutes throughout the game, or throughout the last 7 or 8 games, due to his inability to really get the job done in the starting lineup. You see Haywood Highsmith started this game, as well as Kevin Love. Again, things are going to be different for this Miami Heat team going forward. We know they have a bunch of flexibility and really the ability to just adapt on the fly. Would they take the chance and move Jimmy Butler for some substantial amount, or some substantial package, if you will, something like Jonathan Kuminga and a few draft picks from the Golden State Warriors? Could they send him to Houston for a bunch of young players and maybe a few draft picks? There are a few teams around the association that seem like possible suitors for Jimmy Butler. The contracts are going to be an issue, obviously, but again, that's why the people in the front office get paid what they do, to get the job done and be able to make these trades work. If a third team has to get involved and make this whole league flip up on its head, I would love to see it, just for the entertainment aspect and just seeing what teams are going in which directions. And again, I think the Miami Heat could greatly benefit from moving Jimmy Butler. Again, I hate saying that because I don't want to see Jimmy Butler moved from the Miami Heat, or removed from the Miami Heat, and no longer a Miami Heat player. But again, if this Miami Heat team can rattle off a few more wins with Jimmy Butler sitting on the sideline with the ankle injury, and Pat Riley sees this trend, don't be surprised, is all I'm trying to say with this entirety of this video. Don't be surprised if Pat Riley and other ownership and the rest of the people in that front office are able and just have that conversation, because we know the relationship between Pat Riley and really anyone underneath him. He's very blunt. He says what he wants. He does what he wants. And really, that's the way it's going to go, because he's him. He's the Godfather. That's the way he's looked at. It's hard to argue with it. He's been in the game of basketball for a long, long time. And again, because of that, I trust him and his abilities and his opinions and the moves he will make. So I can't wait to see how this plays out. Again, thank you guys for watching this episode of Heat Digest, and I will see you guys on the next one.